Morning, everybody. This is Kent here, and I am grateful to be joined by Judy and Lauren Bleeker. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Thank you all so much for joining me. So, everybody, the idea today is to ask some real life expats who are living the dream what life has been like in Panama. And I have questions that I know folks have thought about and wondered that are thinking about moving to Panama. And Judy and Lauren have been very generous with their time and agreed to hop on a Facebook Live session here. So, that's what we're going to do. So, I understand you guys are in Punta Barco right now, right?
Correct.
Love
Just
it.
outside Coronado.
Correct. Yep, exactly. A hop, skip, and a jump from Coronado. And I understand you guys moved here. You had been living in St. Petersburg, Florida. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So tell us about the process of, you decided, hey, we want to be expats. Where else did you look?
Well, we looked at a variety of places. We looked at other places in Central America. We looked at a little bit in Mexico, a little bit in Costa Rica, a little bit in Colombia. We considered Portugal. We considered staying put. We looked at other places in the United States.
I love it. Very thorough. So what made you take Portugal off the list? Because Portugal's hot right now. I understand it's cheaper than Panama for sure. Probably half those places are. But what knocked Portugal off the list for you guys?
The distance, principally. The issue, both Judy and I have children, and one of the attractions of Panama is the ease by which it is to get back to the United States. And the fact that, from our house here to our children's house, we can do it in a half a day if need be.
I love it. Just shoot back to the international airport, get in a plane, and fly right into, where would you go? Is that Fort Lauderdale?
Tampa.
Tampa. There you go. Easy. Okay. So what about some other places? I mean, Mexico is also not that much far away, further away, I should say. What took it off? How did Panama compare to Mexico?
Well, one, I think both Judy and I, having lived in St. Pete, we wanted to be around the water. And that became a driving force to us as we explored other places and frankly just wanted to be by the beach. And we had become accustomed to it anyhow. I thought Mexico was lovely. It was wonderful. In some respects, maybe more affordable. However, what ultimately drove us to Panama were the people.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you.
It's a big distinction.
Yeah, listen, I just got back from Playa del Carmen, which is nice. Cancun is great. Mexico City is amazing and vibrant. No ocean. But I had the same experience, and we had been to Mexico many times. I'll still go back, but I just, all respect to the tourism industry, and Mexicans are awesome, and the food and the culture and all that. But man, I just felt like every conversation was like a hustle. Like I had to negotiate like 50% off. I'm like, whoa, that's quite the markup now that I speak Spanish. Like, gee whiz, poor next guys behind me that are paying double the price on, everything. So no, I'm with you guys. I mean, the Panamanian people are just lovely. They're used to foreigners, which is cool. So okay. Awesome. So you guys, when did you first come down to Panama?
Our first trip was last August.
Okay, cool.
And you may recall I corresponded with you and told you I was going to come down and wanted to look at various areas around the country. We were very lucky to be turned on to Matt, and he showed us around Panama City and showed us the beaches and ultimately the house we're in. And we took a tour, our own self-guided tour, if you will. We went from Panama City to El Valle, to Boquete, to Chitre,
Wow.
Boca Chica. We spent a lovely couple days in Boca Chica, and then to Chitre, Las Tablas, Pedasí,
Look at
and,
you guys.
and
I
then up,
forgot you did very thorough. That's
yeah,
terrific.
and then we came to the Coronado area, and it was like we got hit by a 2x4, and we knew this is where we wanted to be.
Mama said, "We're done looking."
Yep,
Yep.
yep. She said, "Look at all that water out there."
Yes. Oh, magical.
But
Yeah.
not only that, the people here, you don't have to initiate a conversation. They initiate it. And they're, even if they don't know how to help you, they're going to try. And
Oh.
you, like we mentioned Mexico, I have family there, and there's no way that that personality exists. You know, they even wonder why you're talking to them. So, you know, so yeah, I mean, you can't beat the friendliness and how helpful people are here.
Isn't it? And it's kind of ironic because, in a corporate setting, for example, at the, the drugstore, or maybe with the, uh, um, whatever, the cell phone company, even, I don't know, when I'm speaking Spanish to them, I usually get in Panama, always get sort of just like an ambivalent, like, meh, but the people on the street and the people like the fruit vendors and like just the random people are always just lovely. I guess employees sometimes get burnout in Panama. I don't know. It's a weird contradiction, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, we find, but I find part of the culture here is a culture of accommodation. And as a result, you, you just don't find the level of resistance that we have found in other places around the world.
That's a great observation.
Which is one of the reasons why it's so alluring, at least to us.
Yeah, no, people you're right. If you're inclined in one particular direction, it's either to resist or to accommodate, to help or to ignore. And that's an awesome, yeah, observation. And I agree 100%. It's cool. Yeah, the people definitely make all the difference. So, okay. So I want to add value here for folks that are thinking about coming to Panama. So, my goodness, did you have a checklist when you went to all these countries, sort of like side by side, like internet, proximity, et cetera, et cetera?
Yes, we did. And some of the items, and not necessarily this order, but healthcare. Availability of healthcare was one. Number two, one of the things that stood out about Panama for us was the fact that the U.S. dollar is the currency.
Makes it
So
easy.
we didn't have to worry about exchange rates, which is one thing, of course, we did in Mexico when we were recently there.
Sure.
The other thing we looked at is we wanted to be near a big city, but not in a big city.
Yeah.
And so I kind of took a compass and I drew a circle of 2 hours outside of Panama City. And of course, we could have done the same thing with David.
Sure.
Had we been so inclined. We looked at pricing. We looked at, and as I said, a proximity back to St. Petersburg was an issue. We looked at the expat communities and how vibrant they may be. I think, that really covered the waterfront. We came back again to Panama in October after having been there in August. And that's when we had already decided that we wanted to be in the Coronado area. And we spent a couple days with Matthew, and we found the condo that we're in.
And the rest, as they say, is history. I love it.
Beautiful history, yeah.
Amen. Yeah, no. So going back to a couple of those points, Lorin. So being in Punta Barco, which is, let's call it in a day with no traffic, an hour-ish back to the city, right? Depends on how fast you drive.
About an hour and a half, yeah.
Hour and a half. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd say Matt Marks can probably do it in 55 minutes. I'd take
Yeah.
about an hour and 15, but hey,
Right.
great. A nice, comfortable drive back. As we all know, Interamericana, super easy to get back to. So how often do you guys find yourself going into the city, and what do you go there for?
Well, other than the airport, which we go to with some frequency because we're getting a lot of company down here.
Hey, good.
And so we go to the airport, to pick them up and to drop them off.
Sure.
We've been into the city several times. We like to go shopping there.
Yeah.
The mall.
No, I like to go shopping.
Yeah,
Hey.
and I'm taking up the culture. I'm being accommodating.
Good man. Happy wife, happy life.
Right. And we like the restaurants there and the nightlife there. And
Yeah.
it's, you mentioned Mexico City. I think Panama City is as dynamic as Mexico City. I mean, if what we're looking for is, a nice hotel and a nice restaurant and ease to get around. I mean, we drive into the city, but we hop a cab wherever we want to go, where we have a driver that we use when we're there, and it's just super easy. It's just nice. And
that easy. I think that's a competitive advantage to worldly people like you guys who've been to hundreds of major cities all around the world. It's like, a quick story. So, one of my buddies, who used to, he's now a friend. He used to work for my company, right? Colombian guy, Juan Camilo, wonderful guy. Moved to Panama, came to work for us, was with us for like 5 years, then had to move back to Colombia for health reasons for his wife. Well, he started a real estate company, also selling to expats. He's in where is he? Bogota. I think he's in Bogota or Cartagena. Anyway, big city in Colombia, right? I said, Camilo, what when you get people that come to Panama City and then they go to your city, of Bogota, like how do they compare it? He says, Kent, I always appreciate how easy Panama City is to just kind of get a sense of, like it's got all the characteristics of a big city, exactly like what you just mentioned, Lorin, in terms of, like dining, hotels, sort of accessibility, safe, Uber, etc. But yeah, I mean, it's just for the size and it's not that big. It's only 1 million people, but man, we check a lot of things on there. So cool. Nice to, and it's good insight because, hey, you could get back there more if you needed to. You don't have, do you find, what are some reasons you feel like you kind of have to get back into the city? Like, what do you just not quite have at the beach yet? For any entrepreneurs looking to, open up a shop.
yeah, open up a shop. Home goods, kitchen appliances, small kitchen appliances, things of that nature. We find we have some dependency on Amazon.
Sure. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, and so
that's how they get you. First one's always free.
Yeah, and gee whiz, if you were going to be entrepreneurial, I think. What else would you? We have.
I just closed a business, so I'm not looking for any other.
Atta girl. Yeah.
42 years in a business. I'm ready for rest. And
Amen.
and there's, Panama is so beautiful. No matter where you go, it's just incredibly and lush. So it's just really hard to beat anywhere else. Yeah.
True. No, and there's so much to explore too. From where you guys are, you can do what you've done in the past, which is, head west. Maybe you go to El Valle or David, or, go back to Boca Chica or discover a new place, down there in like Bahia Honda. So Nancy asked a question. And I don't think that this is the case per se. But you guys purchased, right? Or are you leasing? I can't remember.
No, we're leasing right now.
Okay, awesome. So the duration of the lease, I believe, is pretty standard 12-month lease, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. any thoughts on, are you going to renew? You're going to, and who knows, I don't know if your landlord's watching, but any thoughts on Punta Barco, pros, cons, what else you might be looking at?
For me, I'm pretty set here. So we're very comfortable here. It's spacious. We lack nothing. I mean, the beach is our backyard, and so is our swim pool and a workout gym. And the people here, it's not overcrowded. So I would look to renew the lease. And we've been to many other areas, but we just seem to call this home. We're fitting right in.
Wonderful.
The biggest downside of Punta Barco is that we're 6 minutes away from downtown Coronado.
Okay.
The nice thing about Punta Barco is we're at least 6 minutes away from downtown Coronado.
Gets a little busy on a Saturday afternoon, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, particularly when in high season, right?
Sure. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, no, that's good insight on sort of your location here. Let's see. What else can we explore? The expat community was on your list.
Yes.
How have you found the expats to be out there? Are they active? Are they friendly? Are they plentiful?
Yes, yes, and yes.
All right.
I have found we have made some really nice friends while we're here. The accommodating nature of the environment is contagious, and I have found, if we have a question about something, it's just easy to get an answer.
Yeah.
And if we need help with something, easy to find help. Everybody, one of the things Judy and I joke about is that everybody in Panama knows a guy.
Yes.
And everybody knows a guy. And I guess we do too now. So it's very helpful to have that. I mean, we had great help setting up our computers and our TVs and finding various sundry items. Again, it's just a very cordial community. It's not a smothering community. You can pretty much pick and choose the kinds of things that you want to participate in, and we've enjoyed it. We kind of view ourselves here as guests in this country.
Good
approach. And we want to be good guests. We have made friends who are Panamanians, and we enjoy their company as well. I mean, we really try to take in as much as we can possibly take in.
And we're taking Spanish lessons every week, so it's we're trying to fit in the best we can and just be part of them. And they like it that we
know. And to your point, Lorin, it's interesting that you mentioned the expat community terms of smothering, because I could imagine that in some other environments where maybe they're not as sort of geographically dispersed, or maybe there's only kind of one group or like maybe two factions that are always sort of at war, versus, I mean, hey, we've got expats up and down the coast throughout the country, both probably in your building and online, who you've never met, but also very helpful, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It is just that way. Now, I can only speak to Coronado, and but I would imagine, from what I've seen from the online chat groups that we've participated in, that everything is just, I mean, it's accommodating. I keep coming back to that word. I hate to overuse it, but people are helpful, and that's true of the expat community as well.
Yeah, I mean, when there's a good vibe in the air, nobody's really worried about like somebody else getting ahead, or like hoarding their contacts, because yeah, I wonder if other places have that going on. It makes me sad if they do, but I guess circumstances could create that, right?
Well, yes, and at this stage in our lives, we wanted a commodious lifestyle. We didn't want a lot of aggression. We didn't want a lot of negativity. And, that I don't want to be a Pollyanna about life, but the fact of the matter is, we've been very successful in achieving that. We find that Panama is not a very contentious community. It is very open. It's very welcoming. And as a result, just the food seems to taste better. I don't know.
Yes.
It's just that
That's because
way.
it does.
And,
Yes. Hey, agreed, Judy. I think also your guys' approach and attitude emits an energy that people receive and, reciprocate. But yeah, I mean, it's agreed. Love it. Hey, so I want to get to one more question. Nancy Curtis, you are awesome putting these questions out. Thank you. You're thinking what other people want to ask. Did you ship household goods from Florida or just bring a suitcase?
What I did was just important things, nothing dishes or things like that, maybe some odd and ends, but I shipped probably 10 or 12 boxes of personal things, and some of it was clothes and so forth. But mostly we just came here with 2 suitcases each. And then when we got here, we needed to find what our needs were.
Sure.
And not our wants, but our needs. So,
Always a balance there.
right.
Yeah.
Well, the constant question is what is needed and what is wanted.
Which we must ask ourselves daily,
Exactly.
especially when on Amazon.com.
Yes, right.
Do I really want that? Do I want to pay those shipping costs and the duties and all that jazz? Love it. Well, let's see here. I guess a couple more questions that I think people might be curious about. Let's talk about Amazon. What have you just not really been able to find in Panama that you've just you got to go online for?
okay. Some of the things that I was looking for exist in Panama, but just for instance, a juicer. Orange
Oh,
juice.
yeah.
Okay, I bought one, it quit immediately. I bought another one, it quit the first time I used it. So, so here comes Amazon.
Sure, to the rescue.
I hand done one, and I said, forget this electric stuff. So, I mean, just little things. It's really nothing
Nothing's
important.
significant or major.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Panama is far more civilized and sophisticated than I had imagined, to be honest with you. I thought we would be challenged in finding those kinds of things.
I must say was it Nancy asked the questions? You don't need to bring as many clothes as you think. And I had a substantial walk-in closet, but I had a lot of parties and got rid of a lot of things. And so I really had to purge. And those clothes I did bring, I find I'm not even using all of them. So I kind of surprised myself. Very low key here. And you still bring a couple nice things if you want to go, I guess, just some occasion. But
Sure.
yeah, it's just amazing what you don't need.
Life in the tropics. I mean, St. Pete, I guess, similar climate, maybe.
Yeah, similar.
But you still have a level of dressing up more than.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
not so much of that in Panama. Everybody kind of leaves that and says more like, let's just go to your pool and hang out. I'm not worried
They don't
about
care if you match or don't match.
right? Yeah, love. Well, Nancy's got one more question here. Did you burn the boats or you still got a boat in the harbor in case you need to, did you sell your house, have a garage sale, or leave everything in place in case you changed your mind?
Well, in our particular instance, our son has taken over our house.
Perfect.
And the associated costs. Did we have a garage sale? We had multiple sales because, as Judy said, she had a walk-in closet to purge. And she's about halfway done with that.
It's never really done, Lorin.
Well, now I
Yeah, I
have to
know.
do it because my son he claims the house is his now, so I have to remove some of my things, so he has room.
There you go.
Pretty bad when you give your mother an eviction notice. So, but, and in Nancy's, because I'm conservative by nature, I wanted that fallback position. I don't really feel the necessity to have it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we are committed to this.
Mm.
This will be our life.
Amen. Well, guys, I mean, on that note, unless anybody has any other questions, thank you once again for doing this. Super valuable insight from people on the ground, living the dream. So yeah,
We can help anybody. Can't you have our contact?
thank you. That's very kind of you. And look forward to seeing y'all soon.
Okay,
Take
thank
care
you.
now.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream and we'll keep chatting here. Thanks, guys.